Hey, hey, hey. So, we are on a full moon weekend, which is a wonderful time to just release what no longer serves you, let it go, take a deep breath in, and make space for beautiful new things to be coming into your world. And one of the things I want to talk about is my music project that's upcoming. So, first, I want to tell you a little funny story about Blue Jays. So I mentioned on one of my Instagram feeds the other day, one of my stories, that in the last few years I have realized that birds communicate with me in subtle ways. So they often will give me symbolic messages, which I then can reflect on and see what they're trying to tell me in my life. And I've had several stories of how this has happened, lots of different birds. And the other day, I was talking to my son on the phone, and we had the windows open because it's just still absolutely gorgeous here in Erie, Pennsylvania. So we can have the windows open and a breeze comes in. And at a certain point, my son said, "Is everything okay?" And I said, "Yeah, why?" He's like, "It sounds like there's some puppy crying in the background." And these blue jays were right outside my window, just kind of shrieking away. They sort of have a cry that sounds something in between a hawk and a crow, almost. Only a little bit, not quite so heavy as one of those. So there they were, shrieking away. And the thing about blue jays, they're not actually very nice birds. They're rather aggressive. And they will even go in and kind of strong arm into another bird's nest to make their own nest. So it's curious that the bluebirds came to visit while I was chatting with my son on the phone. But the bluebirds, if I remember correctly, they work as a pair, and they sort of have this like fighting against the world kind of mentality. So I thought that was an interesting message. And in terms of my music, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to tell you about the next recording project I'm doing. And I'm very excited about it because this is the way magic works sometimes. So about a month ago, I set the intention that I wanted to kind of call into my world who my collaborators would be to help bring music to the next level. And I think literally the next day, I saw some interesting ad come across my Instagram feed, which was for a music studio in Boston. And their business model is something that I am really excited about and I'm totally getting behind. So what they do, they also have a lot of experience doing crowdfunding campaigns. And so they're actually helping me to create the crowdfunding campaign that will pay for the entire studio project so that I don't have to be out of pocket a dime and our music can be produced to a high quality professional industry standard. And so what I have to do now is I have to decide of all the many, many, many projects that I could possibly do and all the many songs I could record because I've done a lot of writing in the last couple of years. I've divided it into 3 buckets. So what I need from you, I need you to tell me which bucket excites you the most as a listener because I'm excited about all 3 and I want to know what you're excited about. So bucket number 1 is what I'm calling tropical blues. And so what this is, excuse me, this would be about 4 or 5 songs that I wrote while I was in Brazil performing with the musicians in Brazil, calling ourselves Blue Angel Banda de Blues. So these are blues songs that I wrote, and yet I know a Brazilian drummer and a Brazilian percussionist that I'm going to invite to the project here in the United States. Because one of the things I found was that I really love the way Brazilian rhythms can come in and influence this sort of blues, which is a very American genre, and how it can create this sort of like vibrant tropical kind of blues. And so that's bucket number 1. Bucket number 1 is about 3 or 4 songs that I wrote while I was in Brazil that I can record professionally here. under this sort of concept of tropical blues. And it includes songs like Witches Blues, Up the River, and Funky the Urubu, which I'm very excited about. Now, Funky the Urubu might make it onto bucket number 2. So bucket number 2 is the songs that Mike and I have been working on for the last couple of years, just the two of us. And we've gotten these songs, when I listen to them, I think, boy, they're ready or they're almost ready. And yet, what I'm looking for in this studio is I'm looking at these versions that we've done as really good demos. And so I want to go into their studio and I want to have their session musicians play the songs that we've written together, and have their professional studio just make it sound really top notch. And in bucket number 2 is going to be included our adaptation of My Funny Valentine, which I call Damn Funny Valentine because I added some lyrics and changed the melody a little bit and added some extra sections. So there's that adaptation, which I'm very excited about. There's also my Avon Lady song, which I'm very excited about doing a music video for, using like Barbies and staged scenarios, because in this concept, the Avon Lady is actually a serial killer, and she makes her best lipstick out of human blood. She makes her best pimple cream out of human fat. She makes her best hairspray out of human bones. And really, I wrote this song after pondering this concept, like, what are we doing when we invite into our very homes the beauty industry, which is there to tell us that we're not already beautiful? What are we doing inviting that right into our living room? So that was kind of where that came from. So that is bucket number 2. And so I kind of call bucket number 2 alt pop in a rhythm and flavor style. So that's bucket number 2. And that would probably be 4 or 5 songs, like an EP. Now, bucket number 3 is what I'm calling a concept album, and I've got a working title of Bare Bones in the Shadowlands. And for bucket number 3, this concept is, these are all songs I've written in the last year or so, and it wasn't until I kind of took a step back and looked at all of these works that were coming through, and these were all songs that were channeled through as part of my healing process, either for me or in some cases for another person. And I realized they were really all about doing a year of grief work and shadow work. And the reason I call it Bare Bones in the Shadowlands is because the way these songs came through, most of them, a couple of them want to be fully arranged and fully orchestrated, but most of them really are asking to be just very raw, very earthy, very grounded. Some of them might just be voice and percussion. Some of them might just be voice and acoustic guitar. And so that is the concept, Bare Bones in the Shadowlands, for bucket number 3. So what I need from you is I need your opinion, because like I said, I would be delighted to do any one of the 3, but I want to know what you most want to hear. So comment below, bucket 1, bucket 2, bucket 3. Give me your vote that way so that I can know. And I will also post a link to get on a 15-minute chat with me if you want to talk a little bit further and share more of your thoughts with me, because I'm not doing this for me, I'm doing this for you. So let me know what you think. Have a great day and go burn something in the fire on this full moon to get yourself ready for what's coming. Cheers. Have a good one.